Don't ever lose your sense of humor. This bad boy drive you crazy. I've left this field several times, and I guess I was on a little circle track or something. I came back, but the last time I said I gotta come back smarter. I was killing myself because I was hurt by all of the hurt that I had to confront, and kind of took it on myself. So one of the things that I tell leaders in terms of this thing about hope, this thing about healing, is also making time for yourself.
We've always been known for training teachers and principals, educational leaders, and one of the concepts that's always been important at Bank Street is that learning can take place anywhere. It doesn't have to happen in schools. And so it really makes a lot of sense now that there's a program called Leadership in Community-Based Learning, which is for people who are concerned about learning at any age, but who don't see themselves as classroom teachers or working directly in the schools.
I think there's been a sense that after-school providers or weekend program providers or camp counselors, that's a less professional job. It doesn't have to be. The work can be just as crucial, just as valuable, just as transformative. And I think it's great that Bank Street has kind of taken hold of that space.
Almost anyone in the field that hears about Bank Street's program in general, that Bank Street would have a master's degree program in this, with this focus, just sort of walks a little taller.
It doesn't necessarily pay well financially, but it does in terms of, like, if you're doing it, it must be something in your spirit that's calling you to do it, and your work affirms mine, because it's just very inspiring to hear how you've overcome your personal struggles and pushed through. It's a sign that it can be done, and I just want to thank you all, and Mayor, thank you for having a program that brings professionals like this together.
They'll be taking courses in a variety of fields. One is human development, and so it's important for people to understand child development and also adult development and development through life.
Bank Street in and of itself is a really special place. I've never met an institution that has values that are just so clear and important in terms of really looking at the whole child, looking at where children are, not where we might perceive they should be, accepting where they are and figuring out how to help children grow, and that is in classrooms and out of classrooms.
Adult development made me sort of recalibrate where I am in my personal development. It brought me back, it brought me to the present, and brought me forward.
They're also going to learn about leadership skills and nonprofit management, and that would include things like fundraising and supervision and understanding organizational dynamics and organizational behavior, and how to have an organization that runs effectively and efficiently and is successful in a pretty difficult environment. Another part would be a concern for social justice. So they're very concerned about racism and sexism and homophobia, and they're concerned about the way that we treat people from other countries. They're concerned about what's fair and what's equitable. They're concerned about the political system and about making a difference and advocating for people who need their help, and for making change in the society.
Whether or not you consciously believe in a stereotype, just being aware of it can dramatically impact your performance. And if you're someone in an identity group who's being stereotyped, just knowing that some people might believe that your identity affects your performance can make you do worse than you would do otherwise. So we're going to talk a bit about what it is. We're going to watch a short video, and then we're kind of going to get together and see if there are any strategies we can do to kind of push back against this phenomenon.
Research is another important piece of the program, and in LCBL we're focusing increasingly on what's called participatory action, community-based research. One of the important things at Bank Street always has been the relationship between the academic and theoretical courses and also the hands-on practice. They also will have fieldwork in which they'll either work in their home agencies or they might work in a new setting, and they might have more than one placement so that they can work on short-term as well as long-term projects. The fieldwork goes for a whole year, and as with all of Bank Street's fieldwork courses, there's called a conference group or an advisory group where the students meet together with an advisor and talk about the experiences that they're having. So it's not enough to just have experience, you also have to reflect on it, and that's an integral part of the fieldwork piece.
This is like one of the great privileges of working in Bank Street and having an advisory group, is that we begin to hear different scenarios and how people approach the work.
We take a constructivist approach to learning. The person who's doing the learning needs to reflect on some of their own experience. It needs to be hands-on and experiential at times.
Thank you respectively for forcing us to be introspective. That made a huge difference.
I mean, this all comes out through our conversation. The teachers tell me everything, as do the kids. I rarely tell anyone what is happening or what this painting is about. It's all sort of guided questioning. I feel like I have a garden path and I'm gonna get there at some point, but I would make you guys do all the work.
It needs to be in collaboration, in community, and in relationship with other learners, because learning is ultimately social. We really try very hard for our courses to be experiential, to be active, to be places where students can question and doubt and disagree with what they read or with what the teacher says or with what their colleagues say, so that it's an active experience.
It's been incredible specifically to work with Allison Overseth, who is the executive director at PACE downtown, the Partnership for After School Education. She's been able to both provide a lot of insight from her experience over the years, but also introduce us to people who are working in the field who we may be working with in the future and who can help us and become our colleagues going forward.
So Gray Matters is a wonderful organization of retired professionals, people who've been very successful in their fields as lawyers, as doctors, as teachers, as professionals, as social workers, as media people. And they have decided that they'd like to give back. We also are creating an arrangement with Gray Matters so that they will be available to our students, so that if students have a question that comes up in their work lives or in their studies and they want to talk to a professional person who has a lot of experience about it, then they can have a conversation, they can do a consultation, they can do some long-term mentoring as well.
Bank Street provides its interns with, from my experience, really the highest level of support. A, in that it works very closely with the host organization.
I feel like, and especially in the community-based leadership program, I feel like I found a home, basically. I think...
How am I doing? I'm trying to speak really quickly.
I was going to say you have 1 minute.